Took just 9 plays, 78 yards, 3 minutes, 31 seconds for SIU to Connor Iweema's second touchdown of the year, and the early momentum, Greg, going to SIU.
I spoke with Mike Norvell earlier this week, and we talked about exactly this, that you can't allow this team coming in with high hopes, got their first road win in 13 road games last week at Southeast Missouri State, to grab the momentum early, but that's exactly what they did. Great catch by Iweema and beat Jonathan Cook in the end zone.
Iko Gualdoni will go to the most dangerous men in the nation, the special teams player of the year in the American, Tony Pollard. Pollard breaks free, and he's across the 35 near the 40-yard line. Pollard, again, the special teams player of the year in the American. He has 3 kickoffs for a touchdown in his career.
And averaging 42 yards per kickoff return, including a 99-yarder for a touchdown this season. That's something that Nick Hill and his staff have to be very cognizant of, maybe kicking away from Pollard.
Here he comes, Riley Ferguson, Walter Camp Player of the Week and the Conference Offensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, Ferguson, again, first game of the year playing in the remnants of Hurricane Harvey. Couldn't do much with his arm against Louisiana Monroe, but last week was so effective against UCLA.
Ferguson looks to his right. Incomplete, a little short that time. Maybe they've been looking for Pollard down there on that right sideline. We talked earlier, Greg, the defensive front for SIU a little bit young. Their strength is the secondary, and they showed it there.
Well, there's Jeremy Chin. I talked about him in the pregame. 2 picks this year, 6'2", 200-pound sophomore, good size, and they did a great job in coverage there. Riley Ferguson had plenty of time but could not connect.
Memphis goes up under. That young defensive line swarms the Tigers at the line of scrimmage. At Darrell Henderson locked up right at the line. May have actually lost about a half a yard. Let's look at the offense for the Memphis Tigers and those dangerous wideouts.
Darrell Henderson averaging 10.5 yards per carry. That's second in the NCAA. And that first carry, he was corralled by that young defensive front for the Salukis.
Tigers have struggled a little bit on third down, and they do again. An overthrow that time by Ferguson. Looked like he was looking for Mayhew downfield, and he was. It's one thing Coach, offensive coordinator Daryl Dickey told me earlier this week. Got to be better on third down. They're only 37% this year, 10 out of 27.
Well, 3 and out for Memphis, not good, but there is a good sign because Riley's getting protection early. He had time. He just overthrew, as you mentioned, Phil Mayhew, who was open.
Now Memphis will have to deal with the dangerous DJ Davis again. Just a little pressure. Lets the ball go past, and Memphis has it down inside the 10-yard line.
Well, that was a bomb off the foot of Spencer Smith, I believe, or was that Nick Jacobs? They got 2 punters. I think it was Spencer Smith, and he bombed that one. Here you see the drive by Southern Illinois, which put him on the board first. Straub with plenty of time to make some accurate throws. He's been right on the money. And there you see the one where he was under a little bit of pressure, but just a 4-man rush from Memphis. And the offensive gem by the wide receiver, Connor Iweema, climbing the ladder, beating Jonathan Cook on the play, and makes it 7-0. Salukis with the ball and feeling very confident in what they can accomplish tonight.
Second punt inside the 20 this year for Smith. Let's see if the Tiger defense can pin SIU back on their heels. And SIU making some moves, and we've got a flag on the field off the carry that time from Daquan Isom.
Probably have a hold here. Isom, though, very shifty. Couple of changes, or at least one change in the starting offensive line for Nick Hill's team, as Josh Podjolinski, number 61, starting at the left guard position for Matt Shimoleski. And don't ask me to spell either name.
Shimoleski out tonight, Podjolinski in. He missed the opener due to injury, but he will play here in their 3rd game and gets the start. And they have had to kind of shift around on the left side of that offensive line. We'll tell you about it here in just a second. They tried up the middle again to Daquan Isom. Talking about the left side of that offensive line again, Podjolinski in at left guard. Devondre Seymour a week ago at Southeast Missouri, wears number 70, broke his hand, had to come out while they went and got the cast. Bryce Wagner, a junior, stepped up, played well at Southeast Missouri, but Seymour will be playing with that big, thick clubbed cast that we've seen throughout the years. Isom now over 1,000 career yards on that carry. out of Orlando, Florida, just a yard over. So the 5'8" junior, a 1,000-yard career rusher.
Here's the jet sweep as they'll try a lot of different things on offense. That time for Southern Illinois, Jimmy Jones, the St. Louis native.
SIU moving the ball again, getting out of the shadow of their own end zone. That time it was Christian Slaughter forcing him out.
They're 48.4% on third down conversions coming into the game, and so far they look good on that.
Play action. Straub's going to go deep again. Straub has it picked off. Room down the left side if he can get around one man, and he's tripped up just inside the 20-yard line.
Sean Rupert with the pick, and that time maybe Straub tried to be a little greedy. He threw into double coverage, and Rupert was right there basically playing safety out there, and nobody to cover man-to-man defensively. He was just out there waiting for that ball to arrive right in his hands. Watch it again. Good play fake on the play action. Straub just threw it, and I don't know if he even saw him. It appears that he may not have. He may have thought he had man-to-man coverage, and he threw it right to the defensive back for Memphis. So the Tigers in business now as they get the big turnover by Sean Rupert.
Chris Ball expecting big things out of Rupert in this ball game. He had 7 tackles against UCLA, a second career interception. So here come the Tigers, and they'll just pound it right up the middle. Looks like they go to Darrell Henderson for a couple of yards close to the 10.
Well, short field for the Tigers, and if you're Southern Illinois, you can't afford that. You can't afford to give this potent Memphis offense that type of field position, especially when you grab an early lead and see the momentum possibly shifting. So let's see if they can dig down deep here and get a stop.
Henderson moves to the right of Ferguson. Goes up under again, has a seam, going to carry the defender in. He'll be stopped just a couple of yards short. On the tackle was Ryan Neal out of Maryville, Indiana, the Missouri Valley Football Conference Defensive Player of the Week. But Henderson has some impressive numbers through a couple of ball games.
Yeah, he's closing in on 300 yards already this season. Big, powerful running back and just a sophomore.
Fake by Ferguson, and he hangs on, and he does. Touchdown, and that's that combination again. Ferguson to Miller.
Third time in 2 weeks, 16th time they've teamed up for a touchdown pass from Ferguson to Miller. Miller beating Torrey Lewis, whose defensive coverage wasn't too bad, but he never turned around, and threading the needle was Ferguson, and now the Tigers a PAT away from tying this thing up.
Well, with a touchdown, Miller continues to streak for consecutive games with a catch, now at 28 straight games.
And the first thing you need to do if you are in the secondaries, you have to turn around. It is tough to play the man. You have to play the ball, and Lewis wasn't able to do that, but that was a seed thrown by Riley Ferguson.
Smith on for the extra point. Through, and it's good. So the Memphis defense comes up with a big pick that sets up the tying touchdown. Ferguson to Miller. It's 7-all in Memphis.